I do actually. Yeah, it's fun. It's great fun to sort of.
I tell you what, you know, I was in the Dallas, Texas the other day, and this guy was doing this amazing show on the history of the 60s rock, and he had all original interviews.
Yeah?
I never ever thought, it never occurred to me that valuable piece, I mean, if you got an interview of Randy Rhoads, for instance, or you had an interview of Jimi Hendrix, it'd be great, because people never heard him talk.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why on the album, there's a track called D, Outtakes, where Randy's talking to Max in the studio.
Yeah.
And nobody ever heard him talk, and when I first heard that, my hair stood on end, you know, because I thought when the stereo was on in the house, and I heard him playing the guitar, I never expected him to speak.
Yeah.
When I heard his voice come out of the speakers, I just couldn't believe it, you know. I thought, you know, jumped out my shoes.
And there's that incredible guitar solo after Suicide Solution, of course.
Phenomenal.
Isn't it? Great, yeah. Okay, well, there are 13 live tracks on Tribute. There's I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, Revelation, Mother Earth, Steal Away, Suicide Solution, Goodbye to Romance, and No Bone Movies off Blizzard of Oz. You think I did this out of my brain box, don't you? And Flying High Again and Believer off Diary of a Madman, plus there's 3 Sabbath numbers, Paranoid, and Iron Man off Paranoid, and Children of the Grave off Masters of Reality. Plus there's the guitar solos, as we mentioned, and a small drum solo with Tommy Aldridge. Okay, looking at the inner sleeve, there's loads of lovely photos, and the band lineup is on the park bench. Tommy Aldridge, Randy Rhoads, Ozzy Osbourne, with longer hair then.
Yeah.
And Rudy Sarzo.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, what's Rudy doing now then?
I think he's now with David Coverdale. The last I heard, he joined David Coverdale. And I also believe Tommy's with him. But there's so many different rumours flying around. I mean, this is the last I heard. Tommy was in, then he was out, then he was in. But that's as far as I know it. I mean, I haven't seen Rudy for years now.
Yeah.
Or Tommy.
Well, several people helped you when Randy died.
Yeah.
The first person that Sharon contacted was Gary Moore, who she used to manage in the early Jet days. And of course, he never even replied to the phone calls or anything, did he?
I don't know. I really don't know.
But then young Bernie Tormey helped out.
Yeah, Bernie was a great help to me, because I mean, I phoned Michael Schenker up, and Michael Schenker wanted, like, this and that, and I said, forget it, you know. I mean, it's not like, you ain't joining the Beatles, you know, it's like, we just want a guitar player to help us out for a few weeks, and Bernie came out, and he was very nervous. I mean, you've got to consider that to take a guy out of, like, a small theatre in England and then put him into the Madison Square Gardens, and the guy was like, you know, he's got a bad stammer anyway.
Yes, in any case, yeah. It's quite funny though, if you get a few pints of draft Guinness down his neck, though.
But he was good to work with, you know.
Right.
It got me out of a real depressing rut that we all sank down this big hole, like, oh my God, it's all over, you know. And I mean, I literally rehearsed him in 48 hours and went on the road, you know. And I'd never heard the songs, you know. So, it was like, there's 10 variations of Purple Haze. Every song we've got Purple Haze, you know, but with me singing my lyrics to it, you know. And it was good, because I mean, I'm forever in debt to Bernie, really am, because if it hadn't been for Bernie, we would not have done anything. We'd have been still sitting there looking at this burnt out wreck of a house now.
Yes, yeah, sure. So then Brad Gillis,
Bernie couldn't, after a while, it got to him, you know, he said, I can't do it anymore, so he broke off the tour for a while. I think Tommy Aldridge was working with Pat Thrall.
Oh, yeah.
And Pat Thrall knew Brad Gillis. And through Pat Thrall and Tommy Aldridge, Brad Gillis sort of said, I'll help you finish the tour, but I'm with a band called Night Ranger. And but I'll come and finish the work with you got to do, and then I'll go back to Night Ranger. And that was always the plan. He never really joined me on a permanent basis, Brad Gillis. And he came in, and he, at the end of the tour, he said to me, well, would you like me to stay? And I said, you do your own thing, you just, you know, because it wasn't to do he was a bad guitar player at all, but he just wasn't what I wanted permanently. But although he helped me out of a very dodgy situation, you know, and there again, I'm forever in debt to Brad.
And of course you've got Jakey Lee, who was previously with Rough Cut.
Yeah.
He appeared on 2 albums, didn't he? He appeared on Bark at the Moon and The Ultimate Sin.
Yeah.
And you've just spilt the beans now, told me some news that Jake's...
He's not with me anymore. Jake and I sort of... indirectly fell apart about a year ago, but because of circumstances and work, I was never looking it straight in the face. It got to a point where